If you could tell us what your sort of growing years were like.
To put it into very few words, born and brought up in Delhi, coming from a very middle class background, and we lived in a government accommodation. I did my schooling from a local government school and my university economics graduation from Delhi University. Along with the graduation, I did my IT diploma course and I got a job and I thought life is made. If I look back, it was like starting salary was 2000 rupees. So that's my traditional career. So from a programmer, I became a team lead, project manager, delivery, and all those traditional IT roles.
And I come from a farming background. So my father was a farmer, my mom was a housewife. We were in Punjab and got my education, did my engineering from Bangalore. And like Seema, straight after college, I also started working. The difference between Seema and I was that I had 5,000 salary as my starting salary. And I started my career in sales. And that's when also the IT boom was happening. So like Seema, I also, switched from my sales job to the IT job.
One thing I would love to know is, the actual strategies which you sort of employed in reaching your fire number, or even charting the way to that fire number, right? And when we were talking outside, you were talking about a bunch of strategies which you employed. So it would be great to, hear something more about that.
One thing we made sure that doesn't matter what kind of investments or expenses anything comes into the way, that we will save at least 30% of our total monthly salary. And what it did was, because our investments started creating income on their own, that by the end of our retirement goal, or by the last few years, we were able to save almost 100% of our salary. So if you have to plot the graph, you will see that our, not just the salary has grown, our expenses have remained more or less not in that same, but that salary growing, but the savings has increased dramatically.
The day you get money from not doing anything, you can retire. Then why do you need to work?
Passive income essentially is of rental income from real estate.
Right.
It's from dividends. It is from interest. And
Hmm.
right now it last year has been very good for putting fixed deposits
Hmm.
or buying bonds with the interest rates are being
Right.
very high. So it's mix of multiple components as such. And right now we are around, I would say, 70 to 80%
Yeah.
of our expenses from our passive income. So that is a passive income strategy. But when we started getting into this serious mathematics,
Hmm.
then we started doing the three bucket strategy, saying that, okay, what money do we need for the first 24 months, because that money should be easily accessible. That means that that has to be cash or very secure.
Hmm.
The second bucket was that after those 2 years, the next 2 to 5 or 2 to 6 years, in that bucket, we would put some medium risk investments. So funds that are easily accessible, easily liquidable, blue chip stocks. And the third bucket was anything long term. So 6 years plus, or even in mostly 10 years plus. So this is real estate that is not easily that you can liquidate it. Um, Even assets like
Hmm.
crypto or anything that
Right.
we have less, there is a lot more volatility. So that is the bucket strategy. So now we've got a portfolio based on that diversification, of real estate, gold, funds, uh, FDs, bonds. So it's a mix. So we employed all this together to stress test our overall, let's say, fire philosophy.
I think real estate is around 30-35%. And then the whole equity market, if you put it, the mutual funds, the ETFs, and the equity also, that will also be around 35%. And then the rest 35 is either, or 30 actually, is either the cash or the fixed deposits or something which
Gold
is
and
more
some the
liquidable. Yeah, gold is also there.
gold is also in that one. It's
Yeah,
probably
it's also in that one. So I
mm.
think it's 35, 35, and 30 percentage.
I categorize our life into three types of years: the go-go years, the slow-go years, and the no-go years. So the go-go years is typically when your body and your mind and your health, everything is raring to go, and we are in that stage right now.
Right.
So before we get into our slow-go years, where something in our body or our mind kind of lets us to take it easy, we'd like to explore as many countries as possible. So we'd like to go to even Antarctica. We've been, exploring about that option also, and so visit as many countries as possible.
In this planning journey, sort of planning it together, like, bringing your finances together, as you talked about when you got married and to now, did that make it easier to sort of achieve this fire goal? What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So Seema is the master of ceremonies. So she manages all the Excel sheets and everything when
I
it
love
comes
Excel.
at the end of the month, every month for the last almost 15 to 16 years, every month at the end of the month, we sit down and we check our expenses. Seema provides a report by the end of the month, like a investor, fund manager on our how is the portfolio performing.
So another thing is that I think we were very aligned that we have to do this together, but it's the other people who were like, "Why do we have to discuss with both of you?" They were always talking to him,
Yeah,
and I
that's
was
a
in the
yeah.
background.
That's a very interesting thing. Actually, there is a gender bias.
Hmm.
Whenever we've ever sat down for any mortgage advice or any finance advice, the person always looks at me, and I'm looking at Seema to force that person.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's there. I
Yeah,
think it's only in 2, 3 meetings that they get the idea that
yeah,
okay, it is together. I don't
Right.
think they still get an
yeah,
idea that it could be only me, but at least they've got the
yeah,
idea of being it together. That's
yeah.
fine.
Now you've gotten to a stage where you've retired. What have you been doing post retirement? What does your day look like?
So my best part of the day is waking up in the morning um, without an alarm, opening my laptop and seeing which meetings do I have today. And when I see nothing, I feel that's the best part of my day. And I wish I can call my ex-colleagues and say, hey, I don't have a meeting today.
But yeah, I think our typical day, so we can kind of say one is because we have been traveling a lot in the last one
Yeah.
year. So one is a typical travel day and one is a typical non-travel day like today or anything when we are in India.
Right.
So typical travel day would be, I think the beginning is still the same. We get up not early, we get up late. We have our nice
Cup of
tea
chai.
ritual because we
Yeah.
need to have our cup of chai, and then we, as it's a travel day, so we plan that okay, what are we going to do today. It's more spontaneous depending on weather, what we would like to do. Some things we have to really plan in front if we have signed
Hmm.
up for something, but mostly it is what are we planning to do today, what do we feel like doing today. So that's, I think, then we go, mostly we have been doing hiking. That's a newfound hobby we
Mm.
didn't know we would love. And then we come back in the evening and then it's like cooking at home, and I think that's most takes most of our day. One is discuss financial goals together. As a family, you have one goal, but you can also have, let's say, somebody says, I want to travel a lot, and the other person says, no, I don't want to travel a lot. But then, if one person wants to travel, you have to budget for that. So, and it's not about that you have to question each other. The thing which is missing right now is the conversation itself.
Yeah.
People just say, why do we need to discuss? Somebody's taking care of finances,
Yeah.
and let it be
Yeah.
that
So
way.
I think
Yes.
that one also, the conversation, in my view, doesn't happen because as a couple, people fall into the gender stereotypes
Hmm.
where a wife will say, hey, this is not my stuff, you handle it.
Yes.
Well, the husband says the other way that don't worry, I'm handling it.
Hmm.
So that itself closes the chapter of that conversation because
Right.
you're in that stereotype. As we keep saying that retiring early, that's, you may or may not want to retire, it's an option. It's the financial independence that everybody should seek for. That's the main thing, and that would be my advice.